firstly, thank you all the panelists to be here at a very short notice. Thank you, Mahavir sir, Kao and Michael, to be part of this very unique webinar where whole world is fighting on a war of coronavirus and they have a different thoughts and different views given by media. And the reason calling global global experts and Indian experts together is that to answer the questions in a realistic way. So today we'll be covering on three different ways. First on self development, second is economic point of view, and third is the globalization perspective. So we'll start with the introduction of there will be 5 minutes introduction for everyone. So Mahavir sir, it will be great if you introduce yourself, as we know that you are a big investor in India and a great personality. I know you from last 6-7 years. You have been with the youth and with the colleges around across India, and always been supporter of young startups. But we want to know about yourself, your whole journey in, I can say, in 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you, Gaurav. Mahavir Sharma, based out of Jaipur. I'm into multiple businesses, but for the last 8-10 years, have been very actively mentoring school and college going kids. Have mentored many early stage, idea stage startups, and also invested in quite a few of them. You know, 6-7 years ago, we formed Rajasthan Angels. We co-founded that. I've been chairing that since. We've made 17 investments through that, in addition to my personal investments outside of RAIN. I think you know, it's a great feeling to be with energetic and younger minds, and I've been enjoying that. Also have been part of TIE, the Indus entrepreneurs for the last 18-19 years. You know, have been on the global board for 7 or 8 years now, and also currently become the chairman for this year globally. What a year! I mean, it's basically with everything going virtual, from offline events to online learning events, collaborations across the globe happening online on you know, different mediums, and it's just become a very disruptive society, and that's the kind of challenge that entrepreneurship teaches us. That's something that people like me, people, true entrepreneurs, love and enjoy, and I see the whole a huge shift in multiple businesses. And that's what you know, we at Dive, since we've been working at the bottom of the pyramid, I would be very much engaged with not only school-going students. We have programs for them, we have college programs, and also startups, and that too at early and idea stage. We're about to launch a pan-India angel network, which will have about 1,200 to 1,400 investors, again investing under $500,000 US, and only in early and idea stage. So, you know, once we get out of this angel network will be up and running, and deal flows will happen. So I'm very happy that you know, this has brought us into a situation where we are you know, learning, changing, adapting, and becoming more and more resilient, which all startups, whether bootstrapped or funded, need to be. And I'm glad to be there, standing by the ecosystem, by different mediums that I can reach out to, or they can reach out to me, and working with everyone. And it's very, very good and you know, interesting to see how we are evolving, just not in India, but across the world. Can't hear you, Gaurav. You're mute.
Yeah, on mute, Gaurav. There we go.
So how can you tell us about yourself, your journey?
What was that? Was that me?
Yeah,
Sure. So yeah, first and foremost, thanks, Gaurav, for organizing this. So I really appreciate this, and I think yeah, your initiative to, you know, help spread, you know, the knowledge and wisdom to everyone else is truly amazing. So great work on organizing this. So for me, my name is Khoa Bui, and I'm an author, speaker, and entrepreneur. I'm also the founder of a digital marketing company called Dauntless Development, and that's all about digital marketing and helping people get more exposure online. And as an entrepreneur, I truly believe that you have to try and set an example for other people to get out there and to try and achieve maximum results in this particular economic environment. So so that's me at the moment. So I also do podcasting as well. So as you can see from the equipment stuff there, and yeah, I interview lots of people around the world too. So there you
go. Thank you, Khao. Michael, a small introduction about yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, let's say that's entrepreneurship speaking. Let's say that my life was a very interesting journey. Let's say that, and I started from just communication, entertainment. I was 22. My first company was founded in Italy, and from there I've been all over the world. Let's say that visiting 80 countries, living and working in let's say 19 since then, and slowly I founded different companies, let's say in different segments, by different segments. And after, let's say, some years, let's say after 10 years or so, I realized that the world was shifting and changing, a global vision and global environment. So with some partners in San Francisco, I decided to create a network, as we call association of several enterprises and business. And we founded this network that right now is running operatively for more or less 20 companies in different segments, from agriculture, massive agriculture, to construction, engineering service, and many other things, real estate and so on. And you can go on the website, you can understand. And it was interesting for me also for try to um, develop educational business, because I understood at a certain point in my life I have this, let's say, we call social calling, in order to transfer to the others something that I learned by myself, because I don't come from a rich family, so everything I did by my own, and of course, and I need to thank very much all the people they trust me, and all my partners and friends they join me in this kind of adventure. And so I decided to also invest a little bit on the on educational design my own program that you know over the world, open enterprise. And so that's here we are, I think. Yeah.
So, firstly, I would like to start about that with the economic point of view, that around the world people are really, really scared. So we'll start with, there are three levels: individuals, entrepreneurs, and on an employment basis. As an individual, people are scared that what will happen to an economy. Is the world going into a recession, or it's just a media gimmick, or what's the reality in the future? Because every individual is scared about their income, jobs are being laid off, they don't know what they want to do. I was speaking to one of the college, Pumba College in Pune. They were telling that this time the hiring has been very low, because companies do not have funds, they are not hiring, internships are not available, money is not there in the market. what what's your viewpoint, Mahavir? What do you think, that is about this whole thing, the individual perspective? What doesn't, for economic point of view, what do you think?
Well, we'd be kidding ourselves if we thought that the economy was not going to take a hit. With so much days passing through with no business or zero business, and with industries at large, from automobile to airline to hospitality to many industries, from e-commerce to textiles. I think it's a tough time. I think it's going to trickle down. There are people who've been laid off globally. There are issues. Governments are coming up with economic packages, but it's going to be tough. So next few months, I think 5 to 6 months at least, are going to be tough. And I think whether it's investments coming to startups, whether it's hiring, whether it's scaling down on salaries and cutting down on wages or bonuses, it's bound to happen. I think we should be ready for that. I think times are going to be tough. But having said that, I think every time things become tough or the world becomes tough, new things do come up and disruption does happen. And I can see a lot of things changing, modules changing, businesses changing modules, online stuff happening, and all of us probably bouncing back pretty much right after this thing subsides down. And probably there's going to be a lot of shortage on many things. And we might have a spurt in an economy about a year or so from now if things go well. So the upside is that it's time to learn, it's time to experiment, it's time to partner globally, it's time to invent and innovate. And I think as you can see, China is already up and running. No consumers right now, but still, I think if the and no one country can survive or continue to grow without others growing. So I think it's going to be a very, very mixed bag of things. Tough times for the next 5 to 6 months, but something is going to come out of it. Innovations and inventions will happen. Medical sciences will improve. Education online will improve. Commerce will start to happen online. I think travel industry might have a longer hit, because if people can work for 5 6 months without traveling, I think travel costs will come down for a longer period of time. Airlines will have to reinvent, hotels will have to reinvent, as businesses continue to happen sitting in one's offices. So I think all in all, I mean, a lot of turmoil, but not bad. I think we're all very resilient as people. I think we should come out of it. We should just handle ourselves psychologically a little better. I think things will come brighter after a while, but tough 5 6 months.
Great. Michael, what do you think about the economy and as a part of individual basis, not as a part of entrepreneur basis? Same question repeat to you. What do you think about an economy as an individual person should do in these tough times? Michael, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, sorry, I lost, let's say 30 seconds. Can you come again, please?
It was the same question which I asked Mahavir sir. So Michael, I want to know your point of view as an economic point of view for an individual. It's going to be very tough for, as Mahavir said, for 6 months. What's your viewpoint? What people people can do, or what's your viewpoint? Is the economy really, I can say, crisis has already come, or it is still going to come in near future?
Well,
And
let's,
you and Italy, there are more countries there compared
yeah.
to another world. So you must be facing.
Now let's try to break down some also and try to sum it up some kind of analysis. I mean, at this point, I was in Qatar the beginning of March, and I was able to make it Europe. Lucky me, because here's my wife and my family in Italy. And so I saw that things gradually, growing by myself, and from Middle East also when I get to Europe, and I saw actually Europe right now is being hit very, very hardly, let's say that, and we are already seeing here um, a lot of problems, a lot of troubles. Um, in Italy, let's say 80% of the economic environment, it's really shut down, so it doesn't work. And of course, Italy, like the rest of the European countries, are very small and quite organized for, I think, um, this kind of economic crisis in a way. They have some money, of course, to use. And the difference between some country like Italy is very small and India is quite large. Of course, is also this kind of amount of money you need to let the country run up. So in certain way, these countries in Europe, they're trying to do their own protocol to try to keep the basic things running, like food, agriculture, the bottom line, let's say that, the necessity of a society, a structured society. But let's try to understand some numbers. For example, a couple of weeks ago was a very loss, was a big loss in the stock market. You know, we lost in the Western society, Western country, we lost up to 20% uh, of the say many funds. They went down, they broke down. Like my funds in Switzerland, we burned it in 3 4 days. We didn't have, we wasn't able to keep it up, and this was a huge money. So the thing is, and this is just not only for us, it was for many people over there actually. That's what I know personally. I'm telling you what I know personally. And many companies have been say facing the fire. Even myself, even ourselves, we fire a lot of people. Or let's say we put them in a stand situation, a stadium. Let's say stand down for a while, stand by for a while, of course. And we hope that we're gonna get them on board once again when all maybe it's finished. Because now the thing is, in Europe we don't see, we still don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the thing. It's now it's kind of, we're gonna enter the second month. We still don't know because the scientists are very skeptical that we can recover pretty soon on this thing. There are certain countries that are starting right now, for example, because they didn't lock down at the beginning. So my concern is that one country gonna recover a little bit, they're gonna start up the other one close by. This is a kind of a ripple effect that we cannot control. So also, I'm agree with Mahavir. For he said it's gonna be a tough time ahead of us, and, because my military mindset, I like to be prepared, and I suggest everyone to be prepared on this kind of big shifting because it's gonna last for some times, and because it's gonna last for some times, there's gonna be a lot of people suffering. Economic, it's a huge beast. Economy, it's a huge beast. It's not a small thing. So it's not easy for our systems to control these things, and we are seeing right now in Europe that is one of the most effective places in the world. So it's not easy. Our governments are struggling; they don't understand a thing. So be prepared. It must be one of the most important things we start to figure it out ourselves. Be prepared and help the others more than before. Right now, community is the most important thing. Your own community, your own family, your own people, your own neighbor. Try to just also think about the others because something that we are seeing over here is because people get very, very afraid. They are very afraid. Sometimes they forget the others. They close themselves like individuals. They live by themselves. That's very. I don't want to say selfishness, but the thing is, let's be careful with this ongoing fear that's growing and get the people crazy. we need to control ourselves inner side, anyway, just yeah, it's gonna be complicated. Gaurav.
Thank you, Michael. It's going to be complicated. Kao, what's your take on the economic point of view? What do you think?
Yep, thanks for that. Well, definitely, I think we can all agree that this is unprecedented, and this is the first time that we're seeing the whole economic system collapse. I was looking at the stock market, and it's just amazing seeing the S&P 500 just first time dropping by 30%. And just like what Mahavir said, there's a lot of opportunities that will spring up due to this pandemic. There's going to be a lot of jobs out there in medical. There's going to be jobs in delivery. For example, I was driving on the road the other day, and then I saw a few Uber delivery people. They were just delivering, food and everything like that. So there's a lot of jobs popping up there. There's also jobs in technology as well, because I think that there's always a need for developers. There's always a need for IT people to keep the infrastructure going, right? So definitely there's a lot of changes, good and bad, that's happening at the moment. But what I always think that you should always be responsible for your own actions. Like, try not to react to what's happening out there, because you can't really do anything about what's happening out there. You can only just take care of what's around you. So I personally believe that you got to take massive action. If you've lost your job, it's really, really unfortunate, but just take massive action. Just get on the phone, talk to someone, call someone, find out if there's any vacancies in their company, or if there's anything that you can do. Just make phone calls, just talk to people, and you'd be surprised in what you can find. Another thing is, you want to try and be try and stay healthy, because we're being locked down. We're being, we're stuck inside a house, we're watching news all day, and it can really take a toll on your mindset. So what I tend to do is I tend to do these indoor workouts just to keep myself going. And it really does help with your attitude, your energy levels and everything. Another thing is, I try not to watch too much of the news. I try and unfollow people as well, because it can just really get to your head. And if you have a negative attitude that, we're not going to make this, then everything, you're just not going to take the required action. So try and limit the, watching the news, because everything is collapsing, but just focus on what you need to do next. If you lost your job, just get on the phone, just go online. If you can see this right now, which you can, go on YouTube, learn how to upskill yourself, go on those job boards, apply for job. I went on, I think there was freelancer.com. If you go to freelancer.com, there's a whole bunch of jobs out there for IT people. There's writing jobs. There's jobs to create logos and stuff. If you've got those skills in technology, you can always make a quick, make some money online. So, it's a perfect time to create a blog site. You can create, these online trainings and stuff. Just try and find ways to make money. One thing I always believe is just to take massive action. Just do as much as you can, and then you will get results over time. So that's what I have to say about that.
Thank you, Kao. So now people, so Mahavir, so as you know, in India, the generally people like employee mindset, or I can say employees, they were very keen on, I can say, on EMI system to be relieved, EMI for 3 months, 4 months. Do you think EMI or credit monitoring for this employment is good? Because government is RBI has already done for 3 months, but actual fact is that it's nothing going to stop after 3 months. But this EMI word is already started, but government has given a relief for 3 months. But what after 3 months? Salaries are coming, everything is coming. So EMI this word, when I was seeing why government is not allowing packages and subsidies
So,
to the entrepreneurs, employment or anything. What do you think?
so every government is different, and I think the Indian government has taken quick steps, two quick steps. One is, of course, the RBI measures that you are talking about,
Yeah.
which are, helping them get away from EMIs, and also getting more money into the banks to loan out. The other one, of course, has been to the very poor section, 70 lakh crore, rupees was announced. The next step, which the government I think is working on, is going to be working on the MSME sector, and especially the self-employed people or small shopkeepers and small entrepreneurs or small tech companies or startups. How that money gets to them, whether through loans, whether through grants, I'm not sure, but that sure is coming. On EMIs, I would just like to say that this EMI thing, don't take it very literally. If you have the cash flow, I would pay your credit cards. I would pay your, at least minimum, at least 50%. If you don't have too much money, don't just let everything pile up for the next 2 months. 1 month is already gone. So I think it's better that you continue to pay if you can pay. Salaries are coming through. We as employers have been asked to pay full salaries, which most everyone is paying. Otherwise, you can obviously go to the government and you will get your salaries. So if you are getting your salaries while you are working and waiting out of your home, I think you might as well pay your EMIs and not let it accumulate. I personally feel that interim measures are interim. They're only to be used in cases of emergency. If you don't need them, if you don't want to use them, don't use them. Try and stick to your budget. Try and cut down your expenses. Try and save money where you can. Try and renegotiate your lease, your other expenses that you might have. Try and dig out into your savings if you have to. But I think try and stick as close to the course as possible, and so that you are not hit with a huge burden, 3 times of what it is right now when things come to normal, because we don't know if when the government lifts all the rules and regulations, whether you would have a job or not, whether your salary would be the same or not. I mean, this is just interim situation. Live to reality as much as possible. Don't get carried away with everything. Take whatever support you can get from your employers, from your local government. Learn and acquire free knowledge. Harness your skills. Don't sit and waste your time watching television, as Khao said. I think don't read, learn, improvise, and stick to your budget as much as possible and pay what you can. Don't do too much away from what you don't do normally, in my opinion.
Thank you. Ka, what do you think about the EMIs thing? As Mahavir said, sir said, what do you think?
Yeah, well, basically in Australia, it's a bit different. We've got stimulus packages. So what the government is doing is that they're handing out particular checks to people who've recently lost their jobs. And I know so many people who've lost their jobs. Everyone that I'm talking to, they've lost their jobs, and they're waiting for this check to come in. And the thing is that yes, you will get assistance from the government, but the thing is that you're still depending on the government to help you. So I think that is good. Just like what Mahavir said, was that you got to be resourceful, and I think it's a great time to be resourceful. So if you do have that ability to get assistance from the government or assistance from any other company, whatever it is, take it. 100% take it, but don't depend on that. You want to keep on improving your skills. You want to build your own little ship, your own little ark, and you want to try and build a little thing where you can generate some income. Just go for that first dollar. Just try and find a first dollar online. Just try and make it, and then make it $2, $5, $10. It's a great time to do it. You've got lots of time to increase your skills, read lots of books, go online, and try and find these things. So 100% be resourceful. See what's out there, talk to people, get on webinars, do webinars, just like what Gaurav is doing. And just try and be as resourceful as possible, get as much as you can from companies, benefits, and from the government as well. And then, just try and build your own, and try and build your own pipeline as well. So that's what I think.
Thank you, Khao. Michael, what do you think about the EMI? So the reason I'm taking about the EMI thing is that because I was seeing that many people were there just posting. Indian government has done a lot, from the lockdown to the poor people to the needy people. So every country has a different way. But as an Indian mindset, for some people of the classes, EMIs are really important because they are there. But for other classes, people, I was seeing that why government is not like yesterday, today morning, Honorable Prime Minister, he's doing a lot actually. All the governments, state governments are trying the level best. He gave a great speech, but again, people are asking why not announced different packages and different things. People are still dependent on the packages on the government. Apart from RBI taking so much measures, the company's Fresh Act, which I'll be speaking to Mahavir sir after this, for which company's Fresh Act 2022, where 2020 for Government of India, which has taken a Ministry of Corporate Affairs. But still, people are behind that EMI thing. I was still seeing today morning also, there are a lot of people, not one, after researching that, a lot of people. So what do you think, Michael?
Well, the thing is, if, as you guys said, basically every country is trying to responding in a different way, of course. It depends also about the culture. But the thing is, if we live in a country that declare the totally lockdown, so it means people can't move. So there's no other way to just rely on the government. It's no other way unless you have just some money by your own, of course. So that's gonna implicate the middle class. But the working class, of course, is the larger first, the largest class, and is the one that doesn't have so much money on saving. So of course, these people, they need to rely on government, and the government, they're trying to hack as quick as they can. Because of to buy some food, this is a very complicated situation. And this is what happened right now in Europe. Of course, the first packages, they released was for the working class straight away, because they being afraid after a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, the people don't have any longer money to buy some food for family. So the second package for enterprises it just came out, and so there's going to be also a special loan with no interest, of course, and for the bigger companies, um, and I think the third package is going to be released maybe later. It's going to be some kind of bonus for restarting, boosting the entire economy, because the problem, in my opinion, is not just the let's say let's try to go from different angle. The thing is that this problem is just started, and even though we try to see the future, we try to see ahead of us, we don't have so many information to just design a kind of common strategy. So it's a very different place by place, and so governments at the moment is the only tool, is the only instrument that we can count on. So even over here, we cannot move. Actually, I'm lucky because I'm in agriculture segment, so I can move around as I want. Let's say that. But most of the people, they don't belong to, let's say, health organization or health structure or agriculture structure. They cannot move at all. So it means that 90% of population is locked down in their own houses. So that means how they can even acquire certain money. There's no way. The market it's blocked. It's finished. So they need to count on someone. At this moment, these people are the government. There's nothing else. So it makes sense. The people want something. They need these governments to respond. They need to rely on governments. So the governments, they need to move absolutely. quick and steady. They need to assure people everything's going to be all right. Otherwise, they panic.
Thank you, Michael. Now, now, biggest thing. I'll now is having so much economic point of view. I'll come on the later part of that. Now, now it's been like people are very, I can say, on self development. There has been philosophical, like, so I will go on a two way, in a philosophy way and an actual point of view. Actually, so what youngsters? So there are many youngsters and students here. They are, I don't, youngsters here, and what do you think they should do during this lockdown period, or what they should do? So we have already said they should learn some new courses or everything, but actually what they should do? So they are panicked about jobs. They are thinking that jobs are not there in the market. They have so many plans to go abroad for internships. Things have gone down, so they are very uncertain about their future. So what do you think, Cow?
Yep, thanks a lot for that. Yeah, one of my favorite philosophers is Marcus Aurelius. He is he practices Stoicism, and he was one of the best Roman emperors of Rome. And what was really fascinating about Marcus Aurelius was that he was there during a time when there was a massive pandemic, and he was governing the entire Rome, and everyone else was dying around him, but he just maintained that stoicism. He just maintained that discipline, and he just maintained that composure. So I think that whatever happens right now is it's always going to be uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen, but the thing is, the only thing we can do is just to look at whatever's around us and just to take action on that one there. So if you're struggling with finances, well, you got to do whatever it takes. You know, the old way is gone now. Like if you could have been employed working in some company, but now that company's gone, you have to find another way to generate income, and it could be completely something completely that you're not used to, but you still have to try and do it. I always believe that you should just like do whatever it takes to achieve something. So I think that one of the biggest barriers is that if you're constantly looking at the news and why everything is not working and everything, it's not going to really motivate you to go out there and do things. So I think that it's really important that everyone that just does whatever it takes to get take the next step forward. Make those phone calls, talk to someone, see if there's any opportunities. Just talk to someone. You'll be really surprised of what's out there, and just do it. Just do whatever it takes to generate some income online. And what I always believe in is that there's also a philosophy by Sun Tzu. He wrote the book Art of War, and what he did was that when he was a military commander, and what he did was when he wanted the army to win, he pushed the army onto the beach and he burned the bridges, so therefore the army could not retreat. And he found that the army, when they knew that they could not back down, they couldn't retreat, they were just fighting 100%. So I think right now, what we're doing right now is that we're burning our bridges. We're on death ground right now, and we have to really go ahead and just fight for what we can. So I just believe that if you're stuck somewhere, just keep fighting. Just go forward, and you will find the opportunities out there, because it is out there, and you just have to find it. I had a lot of issues just last week. I lost this massive deal, but just today I managed to sign this big contract, and that was just done, just pure relentless action. And the opportunities are out there. People are getting jobs out there. So you just got to get out there and find it. Okay, so believe in yourself, and you'll be able to find these opportunities in this pandemic.
Mahavir, Mahavir, sir, what do you think? Because generally I'm getting question from youngsters that what will happen to their jobs or internships. Things are going in a different way now. So what do you think? Are the jobs going to be there in the market, or what they if the companies are telling them come after 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months, what they should do?
See, I think there will be jobs. I think the economy, I mean, consider this as a 6 month or a 9 month break. I think jobs will have to go back to normal. I don't see any sector or any industry not bouncing back or not wanting to have people when they're up and running. I mean, the big question here is how soon can we control the dragon here or control this disease here? I mean, once it stops to spread and it peaks out in all countries, and we have it confined in hospitals or in certain geographies or certain areas, and it's not increasing, I think jobs will start to happen. My thing is that I'm not worried about jobs evaporating or salaries getting cut. My thing is that for the next 6 to 8 months, we will have a situation where we will have to sit quietly and wait, rather than, it's basically just a vacation, a learning vacation. All of us need to learn, reboot, and I think we should be back to normal once we control this thing.
Thank you, Mahavir. Uh, Michael, what do you think? Because you are getting lot of job opportunity application for jobs, companies. And what do you, you have different companies, agriculture and construction. Are you hiring now or you're not hiring now? Michael, the question is to you.
Okay. Sorry, Gary. I was in the head just say he was a kind of slow down in the net. So, well, no, actually, well, we are hiring only on the agriculture segment. That's I can tell you is true. We are doing new teams because our selling dropped up. They went up from let's say from 80 to 150. Let's say that. So almost we double it. And so of course we are hiring and we are designing also new facilities for massive production, especially in the south of Europe and Italy. But other segment we didn't hire. We are not hiring. Actually, we're firing. And because of course the constructions, everything is down. We cannot send the laborers, the worker labor over there, so it's impossible. So they cannot move. And offices of engineering services are down as well. So they try to work by, let's say, smart working by houses, by private houses. But we before we had a plan to hiring more people for new new jobs we have gathered in the North Africa. But at the moment we stopped it. So of course this thing's gonna affect certain segment, I do believe, and I don't know if all these let's say of this momentum where everything is very steady, it doesn't move back and forward, just is it just steady. I don't know if many companies can go back on track unless the government is gonna really cash in. That's my concern right now. Imagine the big, let's say, big construction sites or big construction project that we are losing a lot of money in that direction. So, and I see, from my perspective, it's not going to be possible to just that we, as a private sector, are going to cash in ourselves. It's too complicated. It's too much. So, I mean, you need a lot of bank assets for that, and I don't know if the banks they're gonna give you all this leverage soon after the pandemic is gonna pass out. I don't know. We don't know actually. That's the point. We talk every day. Basically, we talk with banks and funds and understand. Even themselves are very confused. So the thing is, I'm not sure that everything's gonna be back as it was before. That's, in my opinion, it's not gonna be like that. The massive impact, economic impact that the entire world's gonna have, gonna shift our perspective and our let's say um, future perspective. we're going to see something different. People need to realize these things. I mean, the sooner the better, because otherwise later they're going to be a big disappointment. I see people over here, they dream and dream about the lockdown is going to be removed. But imagine one thing. At the beginning, the government said that in 15 days, everything's gonna be done. So say, okay, everyone in 15, 2 weeks, everyone can be back to normal. Then they say, okay, we need 1 month more because scientists are not sure about it. Now we have yesterday or today, the day before, we had the announcement it's going to last until the 3rd May. So imagine 1 month from now. So of course they change week by week. This kind of deadline is that they cannot control. So it's a massive thing that cannot back to normal. Or bank system is going to be affected from that. So banks right now, they also themselves, they don't know what to do. The entire system that we have been living before, where we design our future asset, has been compromised. So we need to rethink how to design one more time the entire system. Who's gonna be the leverage? Who's gonna be the power? Who? Tell me. In my opinion, I think governments they're gonna be back on track. So globalization, it's the way we have been, the way we knew it, is finished. The private sector, in my opinion, we're going to think again what to do, and state they're gonna cash in a certain way. So state is gonna be a powerful tool for the next month, in my opinion. So yeah.
Oh, thank you, Michael. So, with the globalization part, as I said, as there is a saying that think global and act local. So, do you think, Mahavir sir, do you think that this saying will still remain that think global and act global, that globalization is going down around? So, all the countries facing a lot of problem. I'm saying be it UK, US, China, Germany, Israel, all the countries. So, will the globalization will be there, or is going to be down, as Michael said?
Globalization, so with the connectivity and the networking that we have, with how every economy is intertwined with each other's economy across continents, not just countries, I don't think it's going to be something that easy in isolation, especially the entire EU, China, Korea, strong economies, powerful, good GDP. I'm not talking about Africa, South America, countries who are struggling on GDP. Every developed country, India, I think they will all grow together. They cannot just, win in isolation. They will have to work together. I think we will have to start to think local also, because challenges, problems, because individual economies, there are products in China that are just catering to China, and they're multi-billion dollars. So it's like that in India. So I think it's going to be a combination of the two. But I think global happenings across the world will also matter. It will not be in isolation, moving from one country to the other, creating new companies, sitting in Singapore, working in China, picking up from Europe, delivering in America. It's going to be a very, very seamless thing. It's going to continue to happen. Different strategy, different work, re-strategizing. Obviously, the world is changing, but consumption will not change. Growth, strong economies will not falter. They will bounce back, some sooner, some later. They will collectively grow. also people or countries will realize that dependence on one source or one country or one type of product will not always work. So it will be all the more important that people start to look at alternates, people start to look at collaborations, production in two countries or three countries, having logistical, available. So it's going to change, but it will be for the better. I don't think the term think global, act local, or vice versa will have any changes in my opinion. It'll come back. It'll have to work.
Thank you, Mahavir. It's a great insight. What do you think? How this globalization is going to be there, or things are going to change? For example, in Australia, things are going to change. Will your country will be importing more or exporting more, or they are going to stop for a while? Connectivity. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely, things are definitely changing, but I believe that we'll all get through this and that things will eventually stabilize. Not sure when, it could be about 6 to 12 months. We're not too sure when, but things will stabilize. At the moment, the government's putting out stimulus packages to protect the employees and also helping out businesses as well. They're trying to stabilize the economy part of it as well. And obviously they're trying to manage the curve. So if everyone's seen the curve, so by everyone being in the lockdown, the curve tends to just declines, right? So all that takes a bit of time, and obviously the supply chains is currently inoperative. So initially China was producing lots of the supplies to Australia, and I think just recently, I think Wuhan's opening up its doors again. So slowly China is getting there, and also other avenues as well. So I think that it just requires a bit of time for everything to balance out. But I do know 100% that things will eventually stabilize and we will get through this. I'm not sure how long it will take, but in the meantime, just focus on yourself and just do whatever it takes to try and weather out this storm. And you might have to do things that you don't normally do for income, but you just have to do it, right? So I think that well, eventually we'll get through this, and there's been a lot of impact through all these different type of countries, but eventually certain parts will stabilize and we'll just get through it.
Thank you, Khal. Now, Mahavir sir, it's now comes as an entrepreneur point of view. There are many entrepreneurs are asking a common question here. Will the funding will be there for the same, or it will go down? Means, will the investors fund now, or is going what the situation is going to happen from the investment perspective in startups?
So, I've already replied to a few one-on-one. I think it's not going to change. I mean, in the last 1 year or little over a year, things on the angel and VC funding have become more realistic. Bottom lines are important, profitability, unit economics, POCs required. It's not just simply idea and the team that people are getting invested on. Even in not only, you've seen how we works, and then to all stages, you've seen the cutting down, not hiring people, not going overboard with growth, stabilizing it every step. So I think this is going to be pretty much the same. In addition to all of this, people will also now see that whether this company can work in bootstrap situations. What if there is nothing happening for 3 months? What if their annual sales are they're not able to achieve it? What is the worst case scenario? So some questions will crop up wherein they will take into account a 2 to 3 month cycle where there's no income. Other than that, I think pretty much our mindset has been very clear to invest in strong ideas, strong technology, strong teams, and invest long term, not short term, not go with the flow, but have something to invest in something that one can contribute in. not just put money in the stock market and wait for it to come out on its own. It's going to be more hands-on, has been more hands-on. It'll be more hands-on, I think, in the coming few months once things get to normal and investments do start to come in.
Thank you, Mahavir sir. What do you think? How will the startup investment will remain the same, or it will go down for a while?
The startup investments, yeah.
So what do you think? The startup investment will remain the same, as Mahavir sir said, will pretty much remain the same. But what's your point of view?
I think that yeah, that's a good question. I think in terms of startups, in terms of investing, not a lot of money might be going into the small businesses for now, and I think that everyone would have to be a bit more creative in terms of generating income, to find leads, to generate sales for their businesses. So in terms of investment, I don't think there'll be much going into companies and so forth. But I think just at the moment, if you've got your own company, if you're forming a startup, just try and find ways to raise capital. So, try advertising through social media, try generating leads through LinkedIn. If you don't have much capital to generate customers, you can go through offline type of lead generation campaigns, such as blogging, articles, videos, YouTube, podcasting, webinars. They're all very cheap, and you just have to find ways to be extremely resourceful and not depend on outside venture investments. So that's what I think at the moment, is that just be extremely resourceful if you can. And if you do get investments, fantastic, but don't depend on it right now.
Michael, what do you think? As an investor yourself, what do you think? Will you invest in startups during these times, or what will you consider?
Well, as I said before, it's dependent about the segment. And if you, well, my opinion right now, people should be focused on, let's say, agriculture segment, of course, 100%, because food, the most important thing, of course. And that means a huge opportunities. As Carl said, be more creative, inventing new logistic, for example, inventing new application or online application. We're gonna check food quality. Why not? I mean, all these kind of things are gonna work 100%. And it's about the segment, the sector. So some segments are gonna slow down for a while, and I don't know if they're gonna recover 100% in the product sector. But some others are gonna be, they're already in the position to get fund an investment because they need, because we all need. And so drones, for example, 100% drones, they're gonna work because people cannot move any longer as before for a while. So you want to deliver certain things from town to town, it's gonna be delivered by drones. Even mass quantity of let's say in the agriculture, let's say mass quantity of food, they're gonna deliver by drones. They already do in Italy over here right now. For sometimes people don't have the permission to go town by town. Let's say the delivery men, they cannot do these things. So investing it's always there because that's what we do. That's what people do. Invest. They find opportunity and they try to invest and create new things. But definitely finding the most important right now to just understand.
Thank you, Michael. Kao, there has been a question which I sent to you on digital marketing. There are many digital marketing companies in India, and they're very, very I can say very concerned about their business, because India is a service-based industry, and cities like Bombay, Pune, IT sectors are there. They're very concerned about their business. So I already sent you a question. How has this impacted in digital marketing world, positively or negatively? And how is economy in this field, will the opportunities for the job seekers in the field of constant or no? Can you answer this? Basically, digital marketing and IT sector is going to, what is going to be there?
Yep.
From your point of view?
Yeah, it's a great question. So in terms of IT and technology, I think it's very strong at the moment. I don't think technology is going away. And if you've got the skills in digital marketing, if you know how to code, if you know how to program, create websites, write copy, write articles, and so forth, you're still, you can still generate income online. As I mentioned before, at the start, is that you can go on freelancer.com, and there's still like thousands of jobs out there to generate some income there. So that's really good. I went and saw a client today, and they've got an e-commerce website, and I asked them how they're going with the whole pandemic, and they said that they're going extremely well because their platform is technology. So I think it's, if you've got those skills in digital marketing, if you've got an agency, you might find a drop in terms of clients, but you can still find lots of work out there. There's so many people out there who's looking for people to transition their business online. For example, I was talking to a client the other day, and this client, they own a personal training business. They own like a gym, and obviously they have lots of customers going in and they're training at the gym. But because of the whole pandemic, they had to shut down the gym. So therefore, they needed a solution where how could they train the gym members online? So they need some sort of software to streamline Vimeo onto the web page. So therefore, digital marketers can do that. They can create that thing. They can code that software up there. So once again, just like Michael said, you got to be creative and just try and find ways in which you can apply your digital marketing skills to try and get these clients, because a lot of people, that's what everyone needs. People need more clients, and they need it online. So try and apply those digital marketing skills to find whoever is out there that needs these skills, and then you will find it.
Thank you, Khao, because I asked you this question because you are in this industry. And so, very important question that we have been hearing, that as we spoke just a while back about investment. Uh, Mahavir, Mahavir said, what, as an investor, do you think that for a startup, everything is an investment only, or what they need to think beyond the investment? Because the questions are in a different way, because they're, as one question was again here, how entrepreneurs can benefit from current situation, crisis, and build new startups in order to help society and create new revenue resources. So what do you think as an investor, or maybe as an entrepreneur? Do you think that everything is funding or relying on the private lenders, or what do you think? So this question is for student entrepreneurs also, and for young entrepreneurs also. Yeah.
See, I think funding is important, but it should not be the only thing, because I think funding or money can only take you so far. Unless you are a very strong, experienced team, you will not be able to achieve much more than what you should achieve. I think mentoring, getting money from an intelligent investor who will help you reach out to markets, who will help you grow your product or service, who will also try and get you at a level that is local, global, national, and also, last but not the least, help you get the next round of funding. Because it's not just you're as good as your success story is as good as your future. And if you are not profitable and you're burning, and you need to get more money or get more funds, getting money from the right resources is important. If your product or service needs to go to retail consumers, you really need to have people across geographies. You need to have people who can tell you, because what sells or how one thing sells in India is different from how one thing sells in Italy. So you really need to have people who are knowledgeable, who can handhold you, who have a investment in your company, and that's what is more critical in my opinion. I think it's very, very important to take intelligent money, not just to take money. During crisis, before crisis, after crisis, it actually becomes more important to have intelligent money rather than just have money.
Thank you, Mahavir sir. Michael, what do you think as an entrepreneur? Uh, People just focus on, because investment is only for all the young entrepreneurs. That I'm speaking about student entrepreneurs, because they are thinking that everything is an investment. What do you think what they should focus on right now, currently? Investment or on a revenue generation?
Well, starting from the, let's say, um, let me first, I want to say that actually I agree with, first I want to say one thing. I agree with Mahavir that intelligent money means, is right. Now we have an opportunity actually. Before, I think talking from my perspective, what I saw, you know me, that I travel a lot. I mean, 8 months on 12, I always around. So I shift country by country. I see many things during the year usually. And the one thing always I saw actually, and I start to understand right now much more than before, is we have been living in a schizo period. Actually, it's true. He was a little bit schizophrenic, the thing that was before. So, and also because the money, they weren't intelligent. So I can here say something very interesting. Maybe it's time to start to use money in an intelligent way instead of get crazy about it. Because we sometimes I think on the during time we forget about money is a tool. It's a mere tool. It's just a tool. We gave too money too much importance, and then we forget about the smart things, the clever things, the intelligence about do things in the right way for community, for better life, all this kind of thing. Thinking also by myself and spending 1 month, entirely 1 month with my wife and my family, my mom, all these people around, and we have a big house over here. Just and let me understood this thing, even myself. I'll say, hey, maybe you are okay. It's a crisis. Yeah, we know the things, but also we are enjoying the company, the slow down. Actually, we are forced to slow down. I slept more, and I eat even healthy food. I talk and relax even more. I read books. So all these things, and I learn also. I study during nighttime. Let's say a couple hours before to go to bed. I study things that I'm interested in. So it's for many people this crisis is also an opportunity to understand the 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 environment we want to design in the meanwhile of the crisis and for and soon after. So this can be something that an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, can start to even think about this stuff. Design your own environment, and doesn't need to be a massive impact. But we sometimes I saw, okay, I was the same when I was young, 100%, I agree. And but today the young people, young entrepreneurs can be different from us. Let's say they can be more intelligent. They can be more focused on the real things we need as a human beings. I'm talking. Machines, they need different things. this might be very clear as well, right? Because we are going to. There's one thing we should maybe try to talk a bit that we are facing a period when we are going to transhuman, let's say transhuman environment. So we are designing transhumanity, let's say that. So at a certain point, we need to start to consider two different entities, machines and humans. So if we want to speak about humans, we need to redesign the environment in a different way that actually our generation have done. I'm talking about for the other panelists, more or less, we are the same age. And so it's an opportunity for young people to go for the right thing. It's no longer for everything. So go for the right thing. Learn from what we have done for our mistakes. Let's say that. Learn from our mistakes and then don't do it again. That's what I can tell.
Thank you. So, as everyone is, what advice you want to give to the people, because people are very, I say, panicky now in this situation. Now they don't know till when the lockdown will be. What one advice you want to give as an individual to them, because everyone is so big. We are telling them to stay calm, but we Indians, you must be seeing that still we are on the roads and going. Even we can't stay at home for 24 hours. So what do you think how they can occupy their mind or from the nervousness and anxietiness? Because somewhere 0.1% every human being is I can say frustrated or has an anxious. They can't stay at home for a long time. So what from your experience, what do you think a small piece of advice you can give to everyone in the audience here, Mahavir sir?
Um, Obviously staying calm is very easy to say, but it's not that easy to be done. I think a good entrepreneur is never calm. Your surface, your composure is calm, but within you, there's lots of anxiety, there's a lot of anger, lots of eagerness to learn or deliver work, and that fire inside should stay. I think first and foremost is health. I think in these times, I think your physical health and mental health are the two most critical things that you should, put at least 2 hours aside for your, walk for an hour or jog for an hour, and also meditate or stay quiet and not do anything for 1 hour. It's very important that you become strong physically and mentally and not let this idleness eat into your body, because trust me, ideas, knowledge, degrees, money, mentoring, all is secondary, but your physical health, mental health is very, very critical. That will take you through this time and times to come later on. So that's my topmost priority. Number two, as Khao had already mentioned, acquiring knowledge. I mean, I think if you can learn something, these kinds of webinars are good. Learn to write, learn to read, acquire creative domains that will help you in your UI when you do your tech. Just learn new things that you don't know. Spend time with your hobbies, spend time with your friends and families, discuss, debate. It's very, very important and very healthy. Read a lot. I mean, I think reading is very, very critical, and that does not just mean physical reading. Online reading is equally important. Listen to people's views, widen your horizon, learn about what other countries are doing, other people are doing, other entrepreneurs are doing. And then, of course, rest half of the day, 4 to 5 hours, spend on your domain, spend time on your startup, spend time with your team, reevaluate your business or your knowledge, and look to improve your business or your domain. And that's how I think one should gather. Eat healthy, don't eat unhealthy, sleep if you can. All that is very, very critical, because you have to come out stronger, if not more knowledgeable, but you should be very, very strong, mentally and physically. That's my takeaway.
How, what do you suggest to the people?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my thing is do whatever it takes, and take massive, massive action. You gotta take action. You gotta get yourself healthy, just like what Mahavir has said. Is that take care of yourself. Spend 1 hour. What I tend to do is I fill up my calendar I sit down every morning and I work out, okay, I'm going to spend 1 hour doing this indoor workout. I do Insanity. So it's this high intensity type of workout. You just sweat after about 10 minutes and you feel incredible. You have to have blood like going through your body. So try and do that every single day. That will just keep your body moving. So that's good. You get yourself in a peak mental state. And once again, yeah, meditate as well. I meditate 10 minutes per day. I use the Headspace app, and it just helps me just clear your mind and just calms your mind. So take care of your body, your mind as well. And also, yeah, just do whatever it takes. You just have to take a lot of action. I always think about the law of probability. This is coming from sales, but imagine if you're talking on the phone or if you're doing a webinar with 100 people, and you had some sort of product or you had some sort of service or you needed help from someone and you spoke to 100 people, 99% of those people, or maybe 90% of those people will say no, they're not going to help you. But to the other 10%, they will help you. So you want to game that. You want to use those law of probabilities. So imagine if you spoke to 100 people per day, 10 people will say yes to do. You do that for 7 days a week, that's 70 people. That's amazing. So you want to just keep on talking to people, take massive action, and you will be able to turn this thing around and get through it all.
Thank you. Michael, what do you suggest?
Well, guys, one important thing for me is to stay fit in my body. And actually, Carl was telling before about the gyms. Damn it, I miss them. I miss my gym, all my gyms actually all around. That's something I miss very, very much. But important things is to stay, shape. Actually, um, physically, be strong physically as well. Make your own training workout per day, even 10, 15 minutes. Why not? Some push-ups, squat. This kind of things helps a lot for the brain. Most important thing is it's not just for, but the brain is gonna be healthy actually. And other things, I come from philosophy. I like very much reading books and articles. Um, get aware. Just you can inform yourself about this new crisis we have, new virus, whatever it is. Learn things, and it's an opportunity to learn more actually. And inner side, focus on yourself, and that is not the kind of big selfish work. No, it's just time for you to grow spiritually as well. Indian people are very good at it. Do it. It's very important that you discover one more time spirituality. Understand what it's all about. It's gonna help a lot. And, yeah, I think.
Thank you, Michael. So one last two questions as we are close to the end of the session of the webinar. Do you think the sanitization is the only solution to the COVID-19? One of the solution I can say, because all the local areas in India, Mahavir, must be knowing that it's been sanitized. Do you think it's one of the only solution to prevent COVID-19, or what do you think?
I mean, to prevent the spread of COVID-19, yes, because there are two things that we're fighting with here. One is, of course, the disease, and one is the spread of the disease. And I think most of the energies of the world over are split into stopping the spread. And I think that's where India's stage is. Like Italy, the spread has peaked out. People have realized the huge impact or the death rate that it might create. So it's very important that India realizes that the spread does not go beyond India. It's very dense, unlike Europe and other countries, and it's very critical. So I think sanitization is important for it to stop the spread.
Thank you, Mahavir sir. What do you think? How that's the only solution, or there can be a multiple solution? Like social distance has already been there, but what do you think can be an innovative solution?
Yep,
for
yeah, that's
COVID-19 or any kind of virus coming in the future. Now we are in COVID-19, but
yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, that's another good question as well. I think I always believe in just looking at history and just looking at what seems to work. And what seems to work at the moment, from what I've seen, is social distancing. If you're at home, you're on lockdown. Yes, it sucks. It's a bit annoying, but you're preventing a spread of a virus, and it does work. You can see that the curve is flattening if everyone stays home. Sanitization, 100%. We need it. We need to get rid of the germs. If you watch, there's a lot of videos out there online where you can see, but just by washing your hands properly by 20 seconds, it gets rid of the germs, and that's a really good way to fight it as well. And don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes or your mouth or anything, because that's how you ingest it. And that's at the moment, that's the only way that we know to stop the spread. Obviously, we're waiting for a vaccine. Whoever comes up with the vaccine will be mega rich. If you guys can come up with it, they'll be fantastic. Let me know. I'll be your first customer. Yeah, like I think needs to be more investments into medical technology to come up with a new vaccine. And hopefully, yeah, if technology can be improved to help identify, maybe we can use AI to help identify where the vaccines are, or identify where the virus is. We can help isolate it and then also take it out as well. So I think innovation in the medical and technology will definitely help.
Thank you, Carl. Michael, one of the questions that Italy is one of the hotspots in the world of COVID-19. Do you think that, so we are just hearing from media, firstly what I'm hearing from media, what do you think, what's the situation there in Italy, and why did it spread so much? What was the mistake uh, happened in Italy and spread it in a very big way?
Well, wow, this is a huge question. Yeah. The thing is, first, I'm in the south. Apparently, here there's very few cases all around here. Well, what I can see, what I also hear about my friends up north, it looks real, and people are very afraid. And people are dying for sure. So I know some medics in the hub center of the, say, epidemic, and they are struggling, they are tired, they need a lot of support, and that's what everything is trying to do, to support them as much as we can. It's not easy to understand because there's certain cure the health organization, also the World Health Organization itself is suggesting to put in place actually, and I think they are following this direction, this suggestions from the WHO. But the thing is, at the moment, doesn't appear to slow down. Also, Spain, it's increasing a lot. I don't know if there's any mistake because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's any mistake, human mistake. I'm not sure about it. The thing is, I don't want to blame anyone on this thing because it's too complicated. I mean, this can be a very huge, let's say, misunderstanding from all of us. If we start, I think it's a human mistake. There's a human mistake. I'm talking about on the management side to deal with. So, and our system are I try to fight for, but of course take time to understand very well what we are dealing with. So this is the point. But definitely human people, at this moment they are doing the best. So I'm sure you this thing. So I hope India doesn't get hit like Italy. Otherwise, it's going to be a very big drama for it. So let's hope that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So last small advice is last 1 minute. So as we are ending into the webinar, last 1 minute, Mahavir, any advice to young entrepreneurs and firstly to students and then to young entrepreneurs?
Don't lose heart if you're not getting internships and jobs or getting lesser salaries. Take what you can get. Work for whatever company that you can. Acquire new skills. Become more knowledgeable, more stronger. Become resilient mentally and physically, and I think you will survive. Same goes for startups. I think you can regroup. This is a big HR activity for your team. Learn about their families, talk to them, do calls, interact with them, get to know them. These are times where you can reach out to your customers, your employees, your suppliers, and have easy time which you would never have had. Make use of that time in addition to rebranding, reworking on your product or service. I think these are great times to spend with family. And for students, it's your college mates and your teachers and your family. For startups, I think it's your employees, your buyers, your suppliers. I think it's very important that you learn and get to know each other more.
Thank you, Mahavir sir. Kao, last advice of small speed of advice for young entrepreneurs?
Sure. No worries. So at the moment, as you know, we've seen a lot of media. We've watched the news and everything. And right now, our glass right now is filled with dirty water. So the only way to get rid of the dirty water is just keep pouring in empty, just pouring clear water, and eventually all that dirty water will just get out. So what I say is just keep pouring in positive material, read books, more positive, inspirational material, listen to podcasts, audio tapes, whatever it is. Just keep flooding your brain with positive material, and don't lose heart. Just keep going forward, keep pushing, make the phone calls, take massive action, and you will get results. I promise you will get results, and we will all get through this, and we'll become really stronger out of it. So wish you guys all the best, and good luck.
Thank you. Mikele, last small speed of advice to everyone.
Be strong, focus, and stay with your family, with the people you love. That's very important. Actually, if you like and live in a big house, that's beautiful. Otherwise, as Mahavir said, call them, stay in touch, be positive. Don't let the fear catch you at all. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mahavir sir, Kao, and Mikele. Come together in a very very close short of time when I message sir also. Hope we can all fight together this coronavirus and this next 6 months will be a good hope. 2021 and 2020 will be a good year for all the entrepreneurs and individuals. Thank you everyone for joining the meeting and the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Take care.